Anywhere from 1.5 grams to 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. And that is the minimum.
Not true. Not even close to true. No one is going to agree with him. Find another professional bodybuilder or coach that agrees with this guy. Coach Greg, and apparently all of us bodybuilders and coaches, we all got it wrong. We keep preaching 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. But Sebastian Burka, a bodybuilding coach, he says, no, anyone that says that, they're just lying. They're giving you misinformation. They're not telling you the truth. Real bodybuilders, they have to consume 1.5 to 2 grams of protein minimum. Is he full of bro science? Are we bodybuilders lying? Are we, in fact, in secret, keeping this information to ourselves? Trying to just speak to the average person. And so let's see, do bodybuilders actually need more protein than regular folks? And so a guy by the name of Young Tifer, he wrote a comment and said, well, Coach Greg is saying 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. This is bro science. His response? Every person that uses Greg Doucette as an example seems to never know what they're talking about. Laugh my ass off. I'm telling you the reality of bodybuilding. Greg Doucette caters towards the average person, not bodybuilders. This is known. You don't even understand the information you listen to. And what is it that I've said in the past? I've literally said 0.5 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight for most people is enough. I discussed this with Lane Norton as well as Mike Israetel, and we said at most 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Perhaps if you're in a calorie deficit, you're cutting, and some of the protein you're using is being used for energy, that maybe you could use 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight, but never 1.5 to 2. That is just ridiculous. There is no added benefit as far as building muscle by consuming that much protein.
I don't think people know the average men's physique competitor is consuming 300 plus grams of protein a day.
And so is it possible that the average competitor is consuming 300 grams of protein per day? Yes, they might. But just because they're consuming that much protein doesn't mean they're doing so to build muscle. Some people add in more protein because it's more satiating. You're less likely to overeat and feel more full when eating a lot of protein. It doesn't mean that eating more protein is needed to build muscle. It just means that people sometimes eat more protein because it's easier to stick to their diets. Big difference between eating more protein to build more muscle and eating more protein to stay full so you don't cheat on your diet.
People always want to argue with me on here, and obviously none of those people are ever actual bodybuilders or bodybuilding coaches.
Tons of people want to argue about this point that you need to have 1.5 to 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Why does he think that's the case? He says none of them are bodybuilders or bodybuilding coaches, yet I don't know any bodybuilding coaches or bodybuilders that claim you need 1.5 to 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. I don't know any. I can't think of one. Yet he's saying all these people that are arguing with him, they're not actually bodybuilders. They're just spewing nonsense. They're just nerds reading bullshit articles and they don't know what they're doing. Or is it that he wants to sound different and try to make a name for himself and be that different guy that recommends things differently than everyone else?
Those studies are not done on competitive bodybuilders. They're not done on people like me or Cody or Jay Cutler. They're done on the average person. And we are far from average people.
And so are bodybuilders the average person? Of course not. They need more protein than the average person. However, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight is not for the average person. That's for the bodybuilders.
You know, I was close to 300 pounds. I always tried to take in around 300 grams of protein a day.
And so the reality is the average person, if they're eating 0.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight, they're probably getting plenty of protein. But if you want to maximize your results, most research is going to say 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. And so what do we say as bodybuilders? Well, we want to be sure. We want to be safe. So we say 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And if you're on steroids, abusing PDs, or perhaps you're in a serious cut and some of that protein is being used for energy, maybe 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. But no one, and I repeat, nobody that I've ever seen give advice has said 1.5 to 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Only him. So he's going to say he's right, and the rest of the entire world of bodybuilding coaches and bodybuilders don't know what they're talking about. Well, for one, I'm a professional bodybuilder. Is he? I've done 59 shows. I'm saying 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. He's saying 1.5 to 2. You can believe me, you can believe all the scientists, the research, other professional bodybuilders and coaches, or you can believe this guy. Choose. Pick one.
Now keep in mind, my content is catered towards people who want to bodybuild. Not your average Joe Schmo just going to the gym for shits and giggles.
And so what have I said in the past? 0.5 to 1 gram of protein per pound. 0.5, average person, shits and giggles, plenty. Competitive bodybuilder, really concerned with being the best you could be, 1 gram per pound. What does he say?
If you want to make gains, eating 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight is not enough. I don't care what you read. I don't care what your source is. It's bullshit. I promise you, you will not find a single bodybuilder, a successful bodybuilder, who advocates for eating 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight.
Okay, so he doesn't think we can think of one successful bodybuilder who advocates 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Well, Chris Bumstead, 3-time Mr. Olympia, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. I guess that doesn't count. Chris Bumstead doesn't count. He said 1. I chose the Mr. Olympia. Does he count? Does Chris Bumstead count? Does Chris Bumstead make videos saying you need to consume 1.5 to 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight? No. He says 1 gram per pound. If you eat more carbs or fat, it has a protein-sparing effect. The more the protein that you're eating is actually used to build muscle. If you don't eat enough carbs, fats, the protein is converted to energy, and so you need more protein because the protein you're eating is being used for energy.
And if you ever saw a successful bodybuilder say that, they were just saying some dumb shit to cater towards the average person.
And so apparently Chris Bumstead, myself, or Mike Israetel, who coaches bodybuilders as well as norms, they're all wrong. We're all lying to you. We're just saying what you want to hear, not what you need to hear. We're keeping it a secret because we don't want you to make the gains. We're saving that for our secrets, for ourselves. In reality, we eat all this protein. We're just saying, no, you guys eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, laugh behind their backs while we're eating 2, because we know that 2 is what you need. Or do you think Mike Israetel, myself, Lane Norton, Chris Bumstead, and others are telling the truth?
Now, obviously, how much you should be consuming is going to be circumstantial. It's going to be different for everybody. Me at 190 pounds, I'm going to need much more protein than somebody else at 190 pounds.
So apparently him at 190 pounds needs a lot more protein than when I'm at 190 pounds because he's different. Apparently he's built different. He needs more protein than other people who are 190 pounds. It could be if he has more muscle and he's very lean and has 5% body fat, he needs more protein. Perhaps he's dieting, cutting for a show, and a lot of the energy from carbs and fats are being used as energy. So because of that, he needs more protein. That could be true. Maybe 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight just to be safe. Perhaps he's building a shit ton of muscle, is on a bunch of PDs, and so he's building muscle faster than average. Maybe he needs 1.2, but not 1.5 to 2. Not 1.5 to 2.
But what I can tell you from experience, and what I've seen many bodybuilders also state, is that they have made the most significant amount of progress when their protein was the highest.
Was it that you were on the most amount of protein or the most amount of calories? Were you perhaps bulking in a huge surplus and getting in a lot of calories? The more calories you eat, chances are the more protein you're going to eat. Makes sense. So when Chris Bumstead's eating only 1,800 calories a day, it's hard to get 300 plus grams of protein. But when he's eating 4,000 to 5,000 calories, 300 grams of protein, pretty easy. You don't have to try hard. And so is it actually the extra protein that's helping him to build muscle anecdotally? Or is it the extra calories? I would argue it's the extra calories.
I would say anywhere from 1.5 grams to 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. And that is the minimum.
Minimum. So I'm not going to give any advice because everyone's different, but at least 1.5 or more. Not true. Not even close to true. No one is going to agree with him. Find another professional bodybuilder or coach that agrees with this guy. Find him and send him to me. Leave it in the comments section. Coach Greg, you're wrong. There's actually 4 bodybuilders in the world that believe that you need this much. Name them. Tell me who they are. Who is advocating 1.5 minimum grams of protein per pound of body weight? Let me know in the comments section. Do you believe Chris Bumstead, myself, Mike Israetel, Lane Norton, and others, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, maybe 1.2 on a cut? Or do you believe this guy? 1.5 minimum up to 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Just to put it into perspective, if you're 200 pounds consuming 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight, that is 400 grams of protein. If you're 250, like Chris Bumstead, 500 grams of protein per pound of body weight. If you're eating 500 grams of protein, that's 2,000 calories. Many bodybuilders are cutting with barely over 2,000 calories. How could they possibly be eating that much protein if that's almost the total calories of their entire diet? Where would the other food be? Would they be living on protein alone? No fats, no healthy fats, no carbs, just a protein-rich diet. Don't believe this to be true. Ending it here. GregDoucette.com for coaching, Greg Doucette IP Pro. Please watch the bloops, watch at least one. Also, get the Harder Than Last Time supplements, including turkesterone. You can get that by clicking the link in the description. Also, cookbooks, coaching plans by me and my team, training books. Comment for the algorithm, subscribe and click the bell button. And until next time, I am out.